everyone, and welcome back to Thursday for Dames and Dorks. How are you guys doing today? I'm one of your few hosts here. I'm Nomiwithoutyou. Along with our special guest, we got Jessika Lindstrom. How are you today, hun?
I'm doing well. I'm really glad that you invited me on.
Of course. No, I've met you in Vegas earlier this year, and then I see your tweets. I was like, this girl, I like her. I love her so much. Even though I love that we briefly met in Vegas, and then there was one time you came up to me like, every time we see you, you're always eating. I was like, yeah, I don't know why I'm always eating. People just gave me food and I was eating it. I was like, okay.
Hey, why not,
That's one of my core memories with you. Because I was like, you're
right. Kind of like a blur to me. Like, even though I don't drink at all, like I was still like, what happened?
Yeah, no, and it was just like a random day too. But like, you're right. I was like, I don't remember how I was eating every day and every time that I was around in Vegas. But that was just, it seemed so long ago, and we're almost coming around the circle of the sun of being a year on that. But
That's wild, yeah.
It is. But I am so happy that you're joining us today. And we got like a lot of topics to talk about, and we want your input. But before we go on, I got Dr. Lily in the chat or in the panel as well. How are you?
I'm in the chat too.
You're there as well.
Hey guys, I'm so excited today to have Jessika here. Like you guys have no idea. So it's kind of like with a little bit of sadness. You guys will see why, but mostly I'm just really excited to have Jessika here, and like I can't wait to get into all these topics with everybody and all of the beautiful ladies here. So yeah, let's do this.
Yeah, let's go. One of our other doctor hosts here, we got Dr. Rachel. How are you?
I'm good. And Thursdays are always really busy for me, but I'm happy to be here. There's been so much happening in the news, not just like the entertainment sphere, but just like in general. So there's a lot of good things to talk about, and I'm happy to finally be on a stream with my my girl Jessika here, who's bonding with me over how awful Rings of Power is. So we already have that bond developed, and now we're going to talk about even more crazy things happening.
Thank you guys for watching it, so the rest of us didn't have to.
Thank you.
That's how we do it. We divide and conquer. Like you watch some like really bad stuff, we watch some really bad stuff, and then we all come together and commiserate.
Yeah. Yes, this is what you guys, I wouldn't say get paid for, but I appreciate that you guys are sacrificing yourself for this. But we also have Sevvy here joining us today, and we got a topic that we want to dive in with your amazing brain that you have, Sevvy.
Well, excited. Hello, chat. How is everybody doing? Don't forget to like the video, because if you guys like the video right now, do it. It tells other people we're live. So hello, everybody.
Thanks, Sevvy. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. And before we go on, we're going to go ahead and acknowledge the chat. We got B-Man in the chat, Tracy Reeves, Retro Collective, Tara Crystal. Nice to see you, Real Steven TV. Chris Santh, always nice to see you. And we got some familiar faces here. Cav, always nice to see you in our chat. Mando, thank you for coming through. You're a real one. Yeah, it's been a day, guys. It's been a week, if anything, how Dr. Rachel said. But one was the breaking news that happened today, and that's going to be the Gina Carano lawsuit with Disney. And I'm going to bring up the articles that I have. But Lily, can you go ahead and just give us like a recap of what's happening with Gina here, and whoever else wants to like chime in on it as well?
I'm probably going to pass it on to Sevvy so she could kind of explain it more to us. But as we kind of already knew, so Gina is suing Disney, and basically the judge, now it's the second time, right, Sevvy, if I'm not mistaken, that they try to like kind of do it under wraps to not make it like a really public thing, and the judge just denied them again. So I'm going to go ahead and just like pass it over to Sevvy, because I'm pretty sure she can explain it better than I can.
Well, let me read up on it a little bit, because I'm just looking at what she's saying here, what the unusual request was. Was it about making it a private court case? Is that
Yeah.
understanding?
They basically didn't want to make it a public thing. They didn't want all their dirty laundry aired out.
Yeah.
So they were asking to keep it a private thing, but the judge basically threw it out again and said, "Nope,
Yeah.
we're gonna air it all out."
They wanted to hide it from discovery, Sevvy, if I recall.
Yeah, it's so interesting to me how and you see it. And you see it with a lot of cases out there. So, for example, you see it with the crazy suitcase lady that killed her boyfriend and stuffed him in a suitcase. So that, by the way, is coming to. I think they did jury selection. I think it's starting trial tomorrow. Where she made the same argument that they're making, right? Because they basically don't want it to be in the public media. They don't want people to know what is going on, right? But it is a fundamental right as a citizen to walk into a court case, to any type of court hearing. You can walk in and you can sit down, and then you can, as long as you follow the decorum, you can listen to it. So if you are ever bored, you can walk over to your courthouse and see what's in the docket and just sit there and listen to a court trial, right? It is what is, I think, a fundamental right of us as citizens to be part of the proceedings, right? Because we don't want anything hidden. We don't want things to look suspicious, right? We don't want any special deals of what's going on. If we're going to be tried again, we're being tried by a panel of our peers, and we want to protect the that is just really precious if you think about it, right? Because it can be you one day, right? And the fact that they want to hide things is not really surprising to me, but the standard is pretty high, for sure. And I'm really glad that they were not doing it. And it's really interesting because they basically said that if it became public knowledge that they would then have to spend way more money on appeal. It's like that doesn't change any of it. It doesn't change any of it. I mean, they can still be documents that can be marked as attorney's eyes only, and this is very common practice. So something that is a trade secret, for example, can be marked attorney's eyes only. You also have documents that can be marked highly confidential, or documents that can be redacted. For example, if they have personal identifiable information like a social security number, it's easily redacted. All you can really get, to protect any type of rights that you have, you can get very easily by putting it as attorney's eyes only or highly confidential or confidential. It's very, very easy to do that. And usually that is stipulated right from the get-go. It's so common practice that is stipulated. For them to say, yeah, we want to just go ahead and hide everything, it's completely ridiculous. But you know why they want to hide everything, right? Because we all know what's out there. Like, we saw the complaint, we saw the tweets, we saw what Disney was doing and how they were treating everybody different. And we know what they were doing with the struggle sessions and how they wanted those struggle sessions to happen. Once all of that comes out more publicly, because it probably will have a stronger impact of people, because not everybody reads through all the stuff that we do, right? Or buries themselves in the document and trying to glean information for what are they really doing. But it's going to be way more powerful if you see a clip of somebody talking about it.
Ooh, and this is what we're doing. We're talking about it. So it might be a clip later on. Oh my gosh. Like, this is actually pretty exciting. But the fact that they did it the second time is kind of like not shocking because they want to bury this. And I love that she gave us an update on it too. That they're trying to dismiss the case yet again, request her permission to immediately go to the appeal for the Ninth Circuit court.
No.
Yeah, like, yeah, we know you have deep pockets, Disney, but sometimes people can't be bought. Like, the law. And for you also, go ahead, Lily. Lily, Sevvy, what were you gonna say on that?
No,
Just
and
yeah, it's just
I
true.
mean that's definitely also like a tactic to see like who has the bigger pockets. Like, you know, I mean, thankfully Gina is not paying for the attorneys, right? Because otherwise that's gonna really prevent anybody from seeking any type of justice, right? Because if they bury you in more paperwork and more filings and more motions, you are gonna run out of money, and then not a lot of lawyers would want to take it on because it's gonna be a huge debt that they might not ever recover from. So it is a lot of motion practice of filing. So for them to just kind of doing that and then not have any type of discovery at all really hampers the ability for her to have a speedy trial, for things to be forgotten from the public media and for it to be buried down the line.
Mm-hmm. I've been trying to follow this as much as possible. I mean, obviously, because of in who we're following in the circles that we're in, and who we like to watch the shows. I just really want to see justice for Gina. And then I know it's like they wanted to make it a speedy process just to end it all, but for their reasons. But something like this should not be run fast, because I want that dirty laundry to show up, because I want Gina's voice to be really heard on this. For them to be like, yeah, female empowerment, and what they're doing with the MCU to make it all MCU is like, well, what'd you do with our poor dear girl Gina over here? Kind of seems like a little bit of an oxymoron to me. I don't know, Jess, do you have like any thoughts on this, on what's going on with Gina's case?
I mean, I haven't been like following it closely, but like I just think, man, this company did her so dirty. Like they let all those other activist actors basically say whatever the heck they want online, and yet Gina says one little thing, and they're like, "Oh nope, we gotta get rid of you because you're not in line with us." It's utterly ridiculous. So I really hope that she gets the justice she deserves, because honestly, you know.
Yeah, no, honestly, for sure. But like if it wasn't for Elon, and I was gonna
Elon is doesn't he like have like providing the lawyers or something?
He
like
is.
Yeah.
I was gonna ask Smu the DJ, because I know he's a little investigator ourselves, or in our group here. I was gonna ask him if Elon's pockets are bigger than Disney's right now, because he's obviously the one that's fronting the bill for Gina.
Yeah, maybe, who knows?
Because it's what Sevvy said earlier, because it does happen if you're an attorney, and then if it keeps getting dropped and someone else picks up on it, like, well, there's no way to recover, because it's going to be a lost cause of a case.
Yeah.
Well, keep in mind too that there is insurance for this stuff. So Disney, like any other company, would have insurance for for when they get sued. That is a super common practice for companies to have insurance to cover legal fees.
Okay.
I did not know that existed.
Yeah, it's crazy. You can get insurance for because a lot of companies have to get bonded in order to participate or sell products, or to be able to bid on projects. And part of those bondings include getting a myriad of insurance protections, and some of those are for crime. Some of those are for like people coming in and shooting up the place. I'm not really kidding. There's ones for just legal lawsuits as well, and there's property damage ones. I mean, there's like so many different types of insurance protections that you can get, and those are always a requirement in order for any company to bid on any type of project. And considering how big Disney is and all the projects they do, I would imagine they have to insurance.
Well, yeah, to cover their butts, but I didn't know that kind of type of thing existed. But it's Disney. They also want to not lose what they've already paid into, but looks like it's going to hurt them just a tiny bit, and also not ruin the name of Disney, which they haven't done already.
Yeah, themselves. I'm pretty sure right now Disney's kicking their ass for not buying Twitter. So I don't know if you guys remember, but a couple years back, Iger, the then CEO of Disney, had been asked if they were going to be buying Twitter. And, he had mentioned that he had considered, and then he said, nope, we're not doing it. So having now Twitter being backed by Elon Musk probably is a big slap to their face, and they're probably regretting it.
Yeah, that's great.
Probably. Oh my god.
I wouldn't blame them too. It's like, man, missed opportunities. We could have suppressed so many people's voices like Gina, and we could have like got away with this.
They're really making all the wrong moves, honestly, because I feel like Disney is absolutely losing money with how bad their like movies and shows are, how poorly the parks are doing, this lawsuit. So the fact that they keep trying to like dismiss it, like you said, get the case dismissed right off the bat, and now the appeal the decision. Like, I don't know how many more times they're going to try it, but it just seems like all it's doing is drawing more attention to it, and more people are waking up and realize Disney sucks as a company. So they're really just doing more harm than good to themselves at this point, in my opinion.
Have you guys have heard about the Disney files with Chris Gore and Film Threat, like how people from the company, like animators, have like reached out to them and told them how badly they're treated there?
Yeah.
Oh my god. And like everything that they're supposed to check all these, little boxes, like you have to be this. Oh my gosh, it's insane.
The little DEI boxes, like if your skin is this dark or shade of color,
or if you have this disability or something like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
But here's the thing. I think like that type of like field, like the DEI, like they're just taking it at your face value, like your word for it. I can be like, yeah, I'm two-spirited, non-binary, whatever, with like the new character they just came out with Marvel, and it's supposed to be like an like a spin-off version of Hawkeye. I was like, oh, that's a little bit I'm gonna say it. It's a little bit racist.
Well, it is.
Suddenly the stream is canceled.
Well, I'm just talking the truth. I was like, okay, you get a Native American who is non-binary and two-spirited. It's something which they kind of practice. It's also a good archer. I'm just kind of not buying of what you're trying to sell me in this character here. That's in my case, the way I see it, it's a little insensitive or not really fully thought out on.
No, well, and Native Americans, they're really into, the warriors. So this kind of like,
I know,
it's kind of ridiculous what they've done here. It's like, that's really
yeah. If you
I don't think they really believe in that necessarily. Like, I don't think they even care about this non-binary stuff. I don't even know.
Like if you were gonna try to represent a certain culture, why not make him as like a Braveheart, or like there's more indigenous people who are like, yeah, I'm gonna like black out my face or like wear my battle makeup, go with a spear that I made out of this rock and do some savage stuff. There is some more savage in the history that is here in the States. You can base a character off of that history versus like, oh, I'm gonna just pick on this because they're well known for making cool feather headdresses and they're good archers. Like, that's just me.
Yeah, there's definitely better qualities to represent a nation. I'm just stuck on how you can be non-binary and two-spirit, because doesn't two-spirit imply that it's a binary system?
That's why it sounds like
me. Yeah, it does actually.
Yeah,
it is.
Sounds like to me too.
Yeah. So,
but yeah, just getting back to Gina for a little bit. No, I'm kind of glad that throughout this whole thing, she's been very adamant that she absolutely is not doing this for the money. She doesn't want to get like a certain amount or trying to like get at them to pay her like some huge ridiculous amount, which I mean, if this happens for her, great. If they pay her, great as well. But the point of this whole entire thing is that she wants all of their dirty laundry to be aired out. She wants everybody to see exactly what they did to her, what they've been doing to other people. Like the other thing where I believe it was a man's wife. She passed away in the Disney park. Something happened to her, like an accident. And just because they were subscribed to Disney Plus, they said that there was like a clause in there that they couldn't
was a
sue
waiver.
Disney. Yeah, a
Yeah.
waiver that they couldn't like sue Disney for it. And I was like,
Ridiculous.
are you guys freaking ridiculous? Like, this is crazy. So yeah, I'm
I
glad
mean-
that she's not doing it just for the money, that she really wants to expose all of these things that they've been doing.
I mean, truthfully, waivers are not really waiving much of anything except for very specific stuff. I mean, just generally when you perform an activity, you know what the normal risk is, and that's the only thing that you can waive. Anything above that, you're not really waiving, right? So waivers don't do much. People sign waivers all the time only because they make you think that you're waiving your actual right. With like say for example, if you go to like an amusement park, or if you go to a haunted house, they have you sign a waiver, but those don't really do much. If you sign a waiver in a settlement, that is different. You are waiving your right, just letting you know. But but most waivers don't do that. So when it comes to that and the waivers that you're doing, I mean, most of the waivers that you're doing is that you're saying that you're agreeing to go to arbitration instead of going to federal court, or you're agreeing to a jurisdiction of like being you agree to be controlled by the laws of whatever state, versus whatever state you're in. So it's just very, very different.
Yeah, that I remember that too. And then wasn't there a story that Disney denied access to a family or to a little girl because her name was Layla Skywalker or something like that? I remember something coming up with that they denied a family because I think her birth name was Skywalker. And then I was gonna tweet as like, why? They let Ray did it. They let Ray take Skywalker name. So why deny an actual living family that's nonfiction that wants to go enjoy your parks? But yes, you do use Disney. So they just kind of like, what's that saying? Keep building that hole and you'll get out of it somehow. Keep digging that hole. Yeah. So I am also sorry, guys. I've been a little bit under the weather with that. But we're going to go ahead into the next topic, which is kind of like something that happened this week, which was Cynthia Erivo. I don't know if I'm saying her name right. Erivo. Okay. She was also played in a Disney movie. She was Tinkerbell. Not Tinkerbell. She was the little fairy godmother. Fairy. Yeah, she was the blue fairy for the live action Pinocchio. And here she is in Wicked and saying the dumbest thing ever about someone taking the poster they released and then adapting it to the original artwork, the book artwork for that.
She was so mad because they hid her eyes. I was laughing. She sorry, go ahead. Read the thing for chat so they know why I'm laughing.
Guys, chat, this is what this actress came out saying about this poster, that someone took it upon themselves to do this. It says, "This is the wildest, most offensive thing I've ever seen. Equal to that awful AI of us fighting, equal to people posing the question, is your thing green? None of this is funny. None of it is cute. It degrades me. It degrades us. The original poster is an illustration. I am a real life human being who chose to look right down the barrel of the camera to you, the viewer, because without words, we communicate with our eyes." Our poster is a homage, not an imitation, to edit my face and hide my eyes to erase me, and that's deeply hurtful.
I'm not joking. If she thinks this is the most offensive somebody can do to you, hiding your eyes, then you're sheltered. And
yeah, she's been living under a rock.
Definitely.
And yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You're living under a rock. You're ridiculous if you think this is the most offensive thing that anyone can do.
I think there was a comment underneath one of these posts that said exactly that. They were like, if this is the most offensive thing that's ever happened to you, then you're a lucky person. And it's like, she's ridiculous. Like, doesn't she understand that there are a bunch of fans of the Broadway show, and that's basically like the most iconic poster that you can recreate? Exactly. And is she not? And I love how she actually didn't even mention that they photoshopped Ariana Grande too. Like, they moved her hand also. So why is she not upset that, oh my gosh, it's offensive to Ariana to like move her hand up like 2 centimeters? Like, this is so ridiculous. I don't don't understand how all of these people are just constantly upset about the stupidest things ever. Like, this is stupid. It's just,
It is very stupid.
it's so dumb. Oh my gosh.
It's-
And it looks great. Whoever redid
I
it.
Yeah,
think it
this
looks.
looks
I think
better.
it looks better.
I
Yeah.
still don't understand the direction that they were going of not giving her the red lipstick. That's
Yes.
so stupid. I don't
It's
understand.
Yeah, like it's in the book. It's in the cover, the front cover of the book. It was iconic. It's still iconic, but yet you still use the green lipstick.
Mm-hmm.
Did they not read the book? Did they not?
I don't think they did. Let's
But
be
not-
honest.
And
I don't
she
think
doesn't
they
have
did.
like a little smirk too. And in
Mhm.
this
Yeah.
one they kind of
They
pulled
gave
up
her
her
one.
lip a little bit. So
Well,
I think this looks amazing. I
It
think this
is.
I think it looks
poster
great, too.
is amazing and is way better than the original one.
Well,
So I
not
think they did her a
Person who
favor.
made it. Shout
I
out to
did
the
do her
person
a
who made
favor.
this.
Yeah, but well, not only that she's complaining that someone took it and made it right for fans of the book, the Broadway show, even. They're mad about giving her the red lipstick, but yet she goes and does this, where she posted this on her IG account.
So this wasn't offensive to her that someone took her entire image and photoshopped out everything except for her face.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That doesn't even like this has nothing to do with Wicked.
And the
Can we
evidence
see-
is right there.
No, but she
I
was
know.
okay with it, and she
Yeah.
wasn't okay with them just like photoshopping away her eyes and giving her red lipstick. Like, I don't understand. This is hilarious.
It's ridiculous.
So funny.
It's very
know, ridiculous.
hypocritical. But
I know. And
apparently this is kind of a trend for her. Like some people have come out and I wish I had the tweet to pull up, but they were saying that this isn't the first time she's been mad at a fan edit, because someone for like a school project made a fan edit of like the if they did a Hercules live action, they put her as one of the muses. So they were just, like saying who on Broadway would be good in what role. And this person put this this actress as one of the muses, and apparently she had a meltdown about it because she's too good to be ensemble.
Oh my
oh
god.
my gosh.
I wish I had the tweet somewhere, but yeah.
Narcissism.
Yes,
Uh-huh.
can you say entitled? Oh my gosh.
Very entitled.
Oh, wow. She's
I-
crazy.
Well, and I know when she came out as the Blue Fairy in
Nomi, you're muted. You're muted. Nomi.
Still muted.
I thought it was my sound for a second. I thought my headphones disconnected.
Can you guys hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know what just happened. I'm sorry, guys. The technical difficulties on both sides. Well, I was gonna say, like, when she was the Blue Fairy in Pinocchio, and everybody made fun of her. They even like put a Glock in her hand instead of the wand. Didn't she like? I can't find any of the tweets too. I know she like lost it as well. But here's the thing: if you're on the internet, like the internet is a lawless place, you're going to be made fun of.
Mm-hmm.
And if you can't take a joke, you probably don't need to be in the industry that you're in.
What's crazy is that fan wasn't even making fun of her. They were
Yes.
just putting her in the place of an iconic image to make her just as iconic. And she got
Yep.
so upset by that. Like, that's so dumb. Oh my gosh. Seriously. That's
Yeah,
so
and I
funny.
can't find that meme or that tweet anymore. So I think she might have, anyone can delete it, but the internet is forever and anybody can take screenshots. But that's just something that we kind of don't have time for. But I don't know. And then see, if you look at the original, like we know that's Ariana Grande.
Like, that's not, that doesn't speak
Mhm.
to me at all.
Mhm.
Like the way the original one does. The original one looks so cool.
Yes,
And this
And
is
then-
just there.
it's just
You'd
there. And
think
then
that
also,
she would, like, you'd think that they would want to, make it kind of like the original, so people would want to go see it because they'll think of that iconic image. So, like, my best friend loves this Broadway play; like, she was obsessed with it.
Mhm.
So it's like, why wouldn't they want people like her to go and see it? Because it's like, oh, hey, look, it's Wicked. Because but here it doesn't really look like Wicked.
No. This looks like a
and-
cosplayer who just walked into a retail
Yeah.
store and is about to ask to speak to a manager. That's what her eyes are conveying to me.
And
That's
like,
probably
sorry,
what she wanted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. Sorry to say, but like, I don't think she's gonna go down in history as the best alphaba. That's probably gonna be Adina Menzel. So,
It's still gonna be
Sorry,
her.
she is. You know,
Yeah.
that girl
Yeah.
can sing too. So,
so like, don't worry about girl. People will forget you. Don't worry about it.
It'll only be
Like,
just a memory that people are soon gonna forget about it.
hmm
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. I
and
don't think
then-
people are gonna really like I think the one that everybody speaks about the most is probably the pairing of Adina Menzel and Kristen Chenoweth. So yeah, I think people are probably gonna watch this and be like, no, just kidding. I'm gonna go back and watch like the Broadway show. Like this isn't that great.
No, it isn't. So I wanted to say something else more about this, but I don't think I don't know. If they know the fate of the actual book lore for The Wizard of Oz, we know
Yeah.
what happens to the Green Witch. So this is also not fair to her if she wants to be seen as a respectful, loved actress. Like I think that's also insensitive if they're trying to like, check off the boxes on who they're casting. If you know if you're picking up of what I'm putting down. But that's just me, and that's just my perspective. I'm just kind of nitpicky on my thoughts today on today's culture right now. But well, one thing,
Well-
Lily, go ahead.
Like I was just gonna say, like speaking of entitled actors and actresses lately, I think we can probably throw in like super quick what everybody thought about Simu Liu. If you guys
Oh
saw
my
like what he said
God.
about the bubble tea.
Yeah, I'll look that up while we
God
chat
forbid
about it.
somebody wants to drink that boba, which is really good personally to me. I like boba tea. And Thai tea is very good too.
Yeah,
and
I know.
he's just so I don't know about you guys, but when people like want to share anything that's part of my culture and they're like, why not let people share in it? Like it's just so
And there are
strange
so
to me that
many.
he's trying to gatekeep. Yeah.
Yeah, there are so many Vietnamese restaurants that sell boba, and boba's like, well, the drink originated like in Taiwan, but like well, you don't see them getting upset about it. They're letting more people drink it. Like, oh, this is good. A lot of people like it. So why wouldn't they be glad that like, hey, other people are getting into this drink that otherwise probably wouldn't have known about it. So I don't know.
And I think what bothered me a little bit more about it too is just the way that he was talking to those people. Like clearly they've worked hard to make this product, right? And they're showing it off, and just the way that he was talking to them, being like, yeah, like this is part of my culture, and like I don't think people should be appropriating my culture and blah blah blah. Like he just embarrassed them. For what reason? It was just mean. It was just like mean spirited of him to do
Chinese.
that.
The
Yeah.
dude is Chinese. It's like, bro, calm down. And it's like, it's just tapioca. Come on.
And I think it was the comments on that were just so great. I think it was Nina Infinity who commented that on the bottom, and she was like, dude, didn't you get famous like playing a Vietnamese character on TV and you're Chinese? Like, what are you talking about appropriating culture? Like,
And you're wearing Western clothes.
yeah,
Lord.
that's what I said in my tweet. I'm like, why are you appropriating the English language and Western fashion? And why are you appropriating all of these other things? Like, is he not aware? Is he that dumb?
Yeah, no, like he's just out of touch, guys. Let's just listen to this cringe statement he said. Like, let's get into it.
I am studying your can, and I am looking for anything that tells me where boba came from. And where boba came from is Taiwan. I started this venture company for a lot of reasons, but really primarily to uplift minority entrepreneurs. And not only do I feel like this is not happening here, but that I would be uplifting a business that is profiting off of something that feels so dear to my cultural heritage. I want to be a part of bringing boba to the masses, but not like this. So for that reason, I'm out.
Thanks. Respect that.
Oh, that pissed me off.
Like, dude, it's just boba tea. Good Lord. Oh my gosh. It's just boba tea. It's honestly not that serious.
Dude, I go to my local boba tea here in town. A bunch of Mexicans make it. I'm not mad.
Oh my god.
Yes,
The amount of
oh my
entitlement.
gosh. Oh,
Yep.
The amount of
he's
entitlement that
crazy.
came out of his mouth is insane.
Yeah.
And
Meanwhile,
I
he's
go-
appropriating everything about himself. Like, that's insane.
I know, and like if he was telling me that, I was like, oh, and you're not a real star, a movie star. You were in Barbie, cool. You're in Smu Limo,
Oh,
and that's
he's-
maybe that's the reason why Disney haven't reached out to start another one, is because you're not that great. Your movie didn't do well. Yeah.
Just look at all of these actors and actresses who have this entitlement. This Cynthia Erivo
Mhm.
lady, Simu Liu. We have our favorite Rachel Zegler. We have Amanda Stenberg. Like, where do these people get off thinking that they're so entitled to just go out and say all of these things, and then they wonder why their careers are not taking off and they're not going anywhere? Like, nobody wants to listen to you. That's why we don't want to see you.
Yes. We don't want to see you. We don't want to do that. Well, I'll wait for Jess to come back to go into something a little bit more, but I just like that he took it upon himself, where he's like, I'm offended on the whole Asian ethnicities out there. It's like, you're either one or you're none, dude. Like, you're Chinese. You said it right there. Boba comes from what did he say?
Taiwan.
Isn't China and Taiwan not in good standing?
You're not supposed to mention that.
Oh shoot! And then where's Smu the DJ? He's not here. Smu, you got to get back. Oh, it does. I know. He's probably napping because he never sleeps. But before we continue on, we got our resident lawyer friend who needs to mosey out, and that is Sevvy. Sevvy, where can we all find you, and what's coming up next in your week?
Yep, you can usually find me at Geeks and Gamers at Tabletop or over at MoonSkull or my personal kick on Twitch. I have to mostly out because we have a tabletop game starting in a little bit. But thank you so much for having me here. Much love to everybody. Bye, everybody.
Bye, Sevvy.
Thank
Bye,
you so
Sevvy.
much.
Take care.
Yay.
But yeah. Oh, I love Sevvy. I'm glad that she broke it down a little bit for us, that
Mhm.
we don't have a lawyer.
Yeah, that was great.
Yes. But no, Simu Lima is just like out of touch, not a good actor. I will say he's a good guy, but he's just, his mouth makes me, whatever comes out of his mouth makes me angry on that. But Jess, do you have any thoughts on that? Oh wait, I actually wanted to bring up a tweet that he mentioned. Is like, you need to just not talk anymore, Simu.
Oh Lord.
And then it's this.
Oh yeah, that one.
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh.
I was like, bro, you got annihilated from criticism from everyone around the world, and yet you resort to this. So I truly do not care what you spend your money on. Buy boba, or don't. Or buy bottled mass-produced boba that feels weirdly appropriated. Or don't. It literally does not matter to me. Then why say anything and make something out of it? Like, all I ask is that you not empty your life savings into altcoins and NFTs.
He's so desperate to be relevant. He's so desperate to be relevant because he knows he sucks as an actor.
And then there's Gary. You're not a movie star.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh my god.
And then
There's Nina.
Yeah.
Did he play a Korean dude in Kim's Convenience? That's true. I forgot about that. But
I think I replied to this one too. Oh yeah, there I am. I said, you seem to care a whole lot in that video while you were embarrassing those people who are so proud of their product. Just saying.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that too, he kind of dunked at that poor person who was like, I created something, I think it'd be good. And here he comes like, yeah, it's not great. It's not all that. And you're kind of like giving the middle finger to everybody and you're appropriating that. It's like, look, he's just trying to create something delicious. He's yield managing what's already there and trying to make it better for people who might enjoy a drink. I would try it. I'm not opposed to trying new drinks or anything, and you can't really just hate on people because you think you're entitled to what your culture is, and it's not even in that culture in boba tea. Oof. But and then actually, I kind of want to bring up the next topic. It was kind of off topic, but it's something I know Lily was a little passionate about, and that was the Victoria's Secret fashion show.
Oh, yeah, I
Oh
was so angry
gosh,
about
this.
this.
Oh
Oh
Yeah.
my
I
gosh.
didn't.
So
I don't actually know about it, so please
just
tell me
to,
about
like,
this one, Lily.
just to set up this whole thing. So the Victoria's Secret fashion show started back in the 90s. I was obviously not aware of anything that was going on back in the 90s still. But they started off just kind of doing this brand new idea where they were like, right, let's try to get more customers by showcasing like all of our products on a runway. It got super big. It continued into the 2000s. It got even better. We got a whole bunch of really awesome models. Tyra Banks, Naomi Campbell. We had Adriana Lima, Alessandra Ambrosio, like everyone. As you can tell, I loved them. They were some of my favorite models. And the Victoria's Secret fashion show was just something really super cute and girly, and everything was pink and glittery, and everybody was all glammed out, and it was cute. So let's fast forward to present day and how everything is problematic, and that God forbid that girls want to look, or women want to look beautiful, and that, you know, we want to look cute and be flirty and feminine, because we can't do that anymore, because we can't do that for the male gaze. So basically, they canceled the show. All the feminists, of course, were complaining that they weren't inclusive enough. They didn't have models of every size, of every race. They didn't include, as we can see here, there's now 2 men at the Victoria's Secret fashion show. We have 2 transgenders. And a lot of people, of course, all the woke people were applauding this and saying, yay, they're making history. And it's like, guys, this should be like a women only exclusive thing. Like, I have no issue with transgender people. That's your business. But this is something that's for females. I don't understand why we just can't have something that's for us. These are our spaces. And I feel like women need to feel like this is something that we have. And now, of course, we have 2 guys walking the Victoria's Secret fashion show. And then in that same breath, I don't think guys really watch this show because it's more aimed towards women, but they can appreciate the beautiful women, right?
yeah.
And now they can't even do that because now they don't even know if they're looking at a bunch of dudes.
You know, a lot of these transgender women, they're just gay guys, and they're told, oh, be a lady, when it's like, no, just let them be gay. And whatever, you know, that's fine. But like, it is ridiculous. It's just like, why are you bringing clearly? I mean, you could see they clearly look like dudes. And it's like, no, go to your drag queen bar or whatever and do that. Don't come into these women events.
Don't come into our spheres.
Yeah, don't come into our women's spheres and like try to be like, oh yeah, look at me, I'm a lady. No, clearly you're not.
Yeah, no. And the funny thing is that I was watching this live, right? And for some reason, when these 2 stepped out on the runway, like immediately something was like off. I was like, what is it about this person that I'm kind of, and then the next person came out too. And I was like, there's something off, until finally somebody posted it and they were like, apparently there's 2 dudes walking in the Victoria's Secret fashion show. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's crazy. I didn't even know that it was them. And for some reason, when they were walking, I was like, there's something off about these 2 models. And it's like,
you can tell with
Yeah.
the legs and the straight, you know, there's no
curves.
The hand,
the torso right here.
Yeah.
That was the dead giveaway to me. I was like, it's not, if it was an original or a biological woman, her waist would have been snatched. She would have had the curves that you can see, like the little hourglass frame on her. But this is just what you said, Jess, straight. Men don't have that frame like women do.
And then
Because
if you go back
we
to the
give birth.
back to the previous one, like it kind of makes you wonder why her bottoms look like diapers or his bottoms look like diapers, because they're hiding something.
Yes,
They're talking.
they're hiding them.
Hello, like, yeah, we figured out Victoria's Secret, unfortunately. Now.
God.
Because
Not a secret anymore.
if you look at all of the other models on the runway, their bottoms don't look like this. So this person is probably like pre-surgery or something. Because why are the bottoms so big? Like,
Yeah,
they look like diapers.
They do look like diapers. Here's pre-surgery and post, because he's not wearing the little depends that the other one was wearing.
Or he could be talking as they do.
As they
Which would
normally
be kind of
do.
painful, I heard.
Yeah, the bottoms for that one are a lot smaller, but the thighs are bigger. It'd probably be easier to hide still.
I know.
But it's just insane to me. I was so excited for this. I was like, yes, it's finally back. Because they tried to bring it back last year, but they tried to be like more artistic. Because like I said, you can't do anything for the male gaze anymore. So they tried to make it super artistic. Everyone complained about it. So this year they were like, okay, guys, we're going to bring it back like the old Victoria's Secret. And then they completely failed. The runway, everything, it looked like they were in a warehouse. There was no color. There was no glitter. It just looked so sad and depressing, and just I don't know what they were thinking. It was so sad.
You were sharing the other day is that how it's a warehouse. Usually it's sparkly everywhere, what you said, and this is just depressing. Who wants to be an industrial era or venue?
But that's the thing that I keep saying. I feel like this show, they're trying to make sure that they don't appeal to men. They wanted to appeal to women. Because if you go back and watch footage from an old Victoria's Secret show, you can tell that the cameraman, they're doing the angles to show off the models from top to bottom, to show off the entire outfit. And in this one, you can tell that they were just kind of like showing them full body for like a second, and then they would edit it and go to just pan to their face. And then they would just do that for the next person and the next person. And like the camera angles were so off. I was like, what are you guys doing? Like, this is so sad. And then everybody kind of like had a cover up on. So nobody was showing off anything. And it's like, this is so bizarre. Like, I don't understand that if they know that all of the women that are watching, how are we supposed to know what we want to buy if you're covering everybody up? Like, isn't that the point? Is that you're showcasing your products? So
I found a photo from a 2006 runway show, and look at the difference here.
Like, oh yeah, just go through it. Like, just go through the whole thing and just pick out all the pictures from back then and look at how pretty and feminine everybody looked. And that was another thing that people were complaining about. What happened to everybody's hair? Everybody had like such a really pretty blowout, really pretty makeup, and they did away with everything. It's so weird. Like, it's just night and day. It's so weird.
Even in the quality of like their wings, the angel wings, like look at the feathers versus the pillow feathers that the dude was wearing here.
Yeah, those were weird.
Oh my gosh, we got someone who is coming in who can give a male perspective. Smu the DJ. Oh, he's gonna be setting up his mic a little bit.
Yeah, look. Go through these pictures. Oh shoot, that link is really long. Go through these pictures. These were from the very last show they had that was actually.
Okay. Oh, see that. That's gorgeous. She was wearing nice undies. See, they're all happy and cheerful, and look, they're smiling.
And it's just so weird to see this year's show. Everyone looks so depressed and serious and just kind of like, oh, I guess we're here. Let's get this over with.
Well, look at the backdrop here. It looks like it's a diamond. And then there's a laser show, it looks like, versus the one that happened a few days ago. Just, it's there and that's it.
And everything was like
budget a little bit.
Lit up and so pretty. Like, it is so disappointing.
And then we all know who this girl is because she was married to someone in the football realm.
The iconic Giselle Bundchen.
Yes, iconic. And that's why she's here as an angel.
But yeah, like you could just tell the quality night and day that they just kind of put it together and kind of were like, yeah, let's see if this will make everybody happy. And no, it just made everybody even angrier.
It did. And there's no diapers.
Yeah, no diapers. No diapers. It's
Yes.
crazy. And like how pretty everybody looked with their hair and makeup.
Yes, because that's when it actually cared about like the fashion industry. Smu, I know you just hopped in here. You just came into an interesting topic for a guy, for us girls to talk about.
I noticed, yeah. Perfect timing.
So sorry about that.
Hi, by the way.
But to
That's
give you
okay.
the rundown, first of all, welcome, Smu. How are
Hi.
you?
Doing okay. Had to deal with a bit of back pain, so I was running a little bit late. But yeah,
Okay.
at least I had some perfect timing there, by the looks of things.
Yeah, it did. But so we were talking about the Victoria's Secret show that happened a few days ago, and there was 2 dudes as angels, and it just was a little sad and depressing to see that. And it's just kind of, you know, the guys have sports, you guys have other things. Let us girls have this. This is our Super Bowl almost. And then these 2 guys think they can infiltrate and do it better than we can. What's your thoughts on that, Smu?
Well, I'm still of the opinion that men shouldn't be a Victoria's Secret angel, even men pretending to be something else, maybe, but that's just me. And I think that men and women should both equally have different hobbies, and everything has to be unified for everybody. That's the opinion that I have, at least. So, yeah.
And then we have this article here that came up, and it's labeled as the Victoria's Secret show was back, but why did it go away in the first place? Lily.
And yeah, it was basically just what I had already said. They canceled it because it wasn't inclusive enough. At the same time, I think Rihanna had dropped her own lingerie line, Fenty, Savage Fenty or something like that.
Savage
and
Fenty.
she had a whole bunch of like inclusive people in there. She had very overweight, obese people. She had like a lot of people with disabilities. She had transgender people. She had everything. So basically, all of those people who are not the fan base, who don't buy anything from Victoria's Secret, came to complain to Victoria's Secret about it. And for some weird reason, Victoria's Secret listened and they were like, okay, we're going to like stop our show because it's so misogynistic and like very offensive to women. And all of the people that were actually fans of theirs were like, what are you doing? Why are you doing this? Like, it was such a big deal for a lot of the models to go into angel status, and they would always pick their angels for every single show. That made a lot of models' careers. And essentially, a lot of people are saying, why are you getting rid of the show? You just took away a lot of jobs from a lot of women. So that's the weird part about it. Like, why would you do that? And like, to me, like, Savage Fenty has its own thing, but that doesn't speak to me. That's not my thing. I prefer the pink and the glitter and the girly. Like, this is cool. It's more artistic, but like, it's not my thing. I want to see the pink, glitter, girly, colorful.
Part of me wishes we could go back to normal times again, and before all this craziness happened, where everything seemed to be normal and where men and women had the separate hobbies, and there weren't people like who invaded certain spaces, so none of this discussion was already happening, and companies wouldn't lose all this money. Because if you look back a few years, they tried to introduce like the first like non-male model to Victoria's Secret, and everybody was like, "Why are you doing this?" Like there was such a visible confusion about this whole thing, and everybody was like, "I don't know about this." And they got pushback for it, and then they were like, "Well, you're all just a bunch of bigots," essentially. Like the usual excuse that happens when you call this kind of stuff out. And like I said, I'm generally of the opinion it's the same with sports, that there are certain things that should be kept with certain groups of people. And that's just me. And it's kind of sad that it has devolved to this. Well, we need to make it inclusive for everybody. Well.
No, you don't. Like, not everything is for everybody, and that's okay.
Exactly.
I would never have made it to Tyra Banks's Project One. No, not even Project Runway, but Tyra Banks's show too. I would never made it because it's not for me. even though I liked
yeah,
it, I liked the artistic.
America's Next Top Model.
That's what it was called. Yes. What were you gonna say, Jess? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Oh no, that's good. I was just saying, I don't like in the case of like guys coming into this like Victoria's Secret thing. It's like it's not like a bunch of dudes who want to see a bunch of women playing football. I mean, maybe some would, I don't know, but I don't think it'd be that entertaining in the sense of they just would not be very good. So it'd be like, this is kind of boring. It'd be like watching women's basketball. I'm sorry. But like,
Well,
not
the funny thing is that for a while, I think they had women playing football in lingerie.
oh
And
yeah.
I think that was like a
God.
thing, yeah, and it was actually really popular.
They did
Which I
try.
mean, hello, I wonder
Well,
why.
okay, I can understand why guys would like that. So
But
that
if you
makes
try,
sense.
if you try to make it like a serious football game with
Yeah,
women,
like if it was
yeah, no,
serious.
there's no
They're
way,
like,
there's no way.
Watch
The guys
it.
would be like, "What the hell is this?" Like,
You remember mud wrestling? Yeah, that used to be a thing.
But that's what
oh,
cheerleaders are for.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you
Cheerleaders
go.
are there for the outfits and dancing and to catch the male gaze.
I'm a
and then
Exactly.
cheerleader.
like, and then where
You're
does it stop
beautiful,
though?
Smu.
Like now, where does it stop? You have transgender models in Victoria's Secret. What's stopping them from putting a guy without the hair done, without the like, basically a guy in lingerie strutting down the runway? Like, where does it stop? Because no one's gonna want to see that. I don't want to see that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no.
Mhm.
It's not going to stop. And here's the thing, it's still going to be forced down our throats and we're going to have to try to accept it. But the thing is, we're not going to try to accept it.
Yeah.
Well, and also the other thing is a lot of women are too nice and they won't be like, get out. No. I think some women need to learn how to be like, get out of here, buddy.
Yeah.
Don't be
Yeah.
nice.
Mhm.
Just be like, get out. No, we don't
Mhm.
know.
I'm going to
Yeah.
try to find this quote.
well.
I'm going to try this find this photo, but what you just said just reminded me of that guy who transitioned to be in women's swim teams, and he won. And then there's a photo that he won first place, but the other real females are off to the side, and they did their own little photos. I was like, no,
Yeah,
good on them.
Oh,
Good.
Leah
They both
Thompson.
got
Yeah,
on the-
Leah Thompson. That's
Yeah.
his-
or whatever
Yeah.
the hell. I don't
Yeah.
even know his real name. Like, I should call him by his real name.
his birth name is Tom or William. So that's where we get
That's
Leah
right.
from.
That's right. Oh my gosh.
Just call him dude if you don't know the name. That's
Yeah,
usually what I
Yeah,
do.
there you go.
That's what they are anyway.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's easier.
So, but it's funny
Saves
because
some
like
time.
here. Oh no, that's not it. But it's something similar. Oh, I did find it. Here it is, guys. Where the girls who actually competed, who've done the hard work, who actually are females, off to the side here, and just living their best life without him. See how sad of a photo is this to me? Like that he's just over here is like, oh, they're not including me because you're not one of us.
No, you're a dude. I'm sorry,
I
but like
mean,
you're a
look
guy.
at him. Look at him. It's so obvious.
There's such a stark contrast between the actual women on the right hand side, and then you look at the neo female. I'll call it, and just especially with the bone structure and everything, you see that's not actually a biological woman. Let's just put it that way.
And the massive advantage that he has on these three girls too. He's like 6'3", and these girls are like what 5'6". So
Yeah,
like, yeah.
But don't you know that Hollywood taught us that we are equally strong, Nomi? Remember?
Oh my gosh! How did I forget?
This false misconception that everybody has. Yeah, be careful with that one. That's just all I'm saying.
Well,
Because
I
a false sense of
just choose to live in
security.
reality.
Well,
Yeah, me too.
Well, thankfully
Hollywood ain't real, folks.
we've got Dr. Lily in the chat. She can tell us. Hey, by the way, Lily, Dr. Lily, are there a lot of biological differences in terms of strength between men and women?
Well, modern medicine would tell you that there's no difference between
Correct.
any of us. We're all the same, guys. I am capable of doing anything that a man can do, and don't let anyone tell you any different. But reality tells you that yes, there are huge differences between us. And I always keep using my little nephew as an example. He's 17 now, but I think at 12 years old, 12 to 14, he was already way stronger than I was. We used to go to the gym together. We used to do weights. He was already lifting weights that were much heavier than I could lift. And I had been working out longer than him. Like, that's just bananas. And he was still a kid, 14 years old, and he was already way stronger than me. Can you imagine like a full grown man? There's no way. Like, you just can't. You can't compete. Yeah. You can't compete. I'm sorry, you can't compete. And that's not to put women down. There's things that we can do that men can't do. We can give birth. And that's what makes us special, and that's what makes us different, and that's okay. We all have things that make women special, and there's things that make men special, and we need both of that. And I feel like people are losing so much sight of that, and it's really sad.
Yep.
No, it is. And then I know I'm trying to find the articles, but I know there are some colleges that are now standing up. Like, if the competing colleges are coming to play whatever sport in the female division to play our team, we're going to forfeit, because we're not going to let that team have an advantage on the girls. And I think that's great that as colleges are now starting to stand up, like they're protecting the female athletes now in this day and age. And then it's not about being inclusive or just trying to like, well, we're kind of tending to them. You have to face reality. The men who are in those female sports have a higher advantage in running faster, jumping higher, whatever physical contact it is, like lacrosse. That's the only thing I can think of that men would be very brutal. And I know there was a video of a male to female lacrosse player that came out and threw the ball with I don't know what the stick is called, but it hit the girl's face and she was bleeding. She was not doing well. She was hurt because of the strength that he took it to send that ball. So yes, it's about time that I see this happening. And so how we said earlier, like, we need to raise up and, kind of stand up, like, you can't be in our spheres. That's starting to come around now, and I'm happy to see that.
Good.
Well, I mean, it just that was the point of separating the sports between men and women, is because we're competing against our own. And now these people are coming into the female sports, and like, don't people think about it? How come there's no transgender women to men that are trying to compete in their sports with them? Like, you never hear of that, but you always hear of the men wanting to come into the women's sports. And why is that? Because there's a difference in your body, in your entire biology. Like, it's just so weird. And to what Nomi was saying too, whenever you've had like the UFC fights where it's clearly a guy that's beating up on a woman, that they send them to the hospital. Like, that's so dangerous. I don't understand like how women can just agree to this and be like, yeah, I think I can take him on. Like, no, dude, that's a man. That's a whole man. Like, you can't.
This reminds me when we had Joe on and the Olympics was still happening. I mean, we had the discussion about the female boxer. I'm not going to say more because YouTube didn't like that last time.
Oh, speaking of which, Boone, since you're here, I'm going to message you because I did something kind of naughty that YouTube might not like. But yes, but you're right also on that with the females in the Olympics, or the Olympics happening.
Harking back to what you were saying earlier with the lacrosse player, was a similar thing. I think it was female basketball or something. When like the athletes were complaining that the male to female player was a little bit too aggressive, and he kept like breaking the bones of the female players, and nobody saw a problem with that in that division where they were playing. It was like, well, we can't do anything about it. I'm like, of course you can. There's rules in place, and actually, that shouldn't be normalized.
Mhm.
There's a reason why we have certain weight divisions in boxing as well.
Yes.
Mhm.
It's
Yeah, that's true.
And-
And then it didn't even stop there either. It's like with cross country and all kinds of other stuff too, where it's ridiculous. Like, I wish I could find the video, but where they have the runners like doing the sprinting and how they win, and like the guy is ahead by such a wide margin, and all the women are like trailing way, way behind, and it's ridiculous, and nobody sees anything wrong with that. They're like, no, this woman is much better than all these other women. Like, oh, it's so crazy.
And the people who do see something wrong with it aren't calling it out. I think the more people that actually call it out, take a stand, like all these colleges who are now being like, we're not going to let our female athletes compete against males because it's simply not fair. It's going to cause injuries. It's going to, cause a lot of disruption in sports. People are going to turn away from sports. We're not going to get enough money when we don't have enough athletes. If enough people call it out, the sooner we can get back to what is actually biologically sound that we've known for decades and decades and decades now. The faster we can get back to people just recognizing biology. And I think we'll also see just like a sudden wave of people quickly detransitioning, the people who weren't actually transitioned to begin with, just calling out an identity. So you're going to see a whole bunch of these athletes suddenly going back to how they were.
Yeah.
But you need to
how
have
that
more
goes,
people
right?
calling it out, and you need to have, unfortunately, because of our society where we like idolize celebrities, you need to have more celebrities stepping in and saying, "Hey, this is wrong,"
Yeah.
or having some celebrities maybe even detransition if they are questioning themselves. Once you
Or
do
it
that,
best
I think
example.
we'll
Or
get
it
back
has
to
to
it.
be like the athletes themselves too, because I think there was a story that was
Yep.
running where they were having a surf competition, and I think a transgender wanted to join the competition. All of the ladies got together and they said, nope, we're not going to compete. Like, either all of us forfeit the entire competition, or it's just going to be biological females. And they ended up winning at the end. They didn't let that person compete, and it was just all the biological females. And it's like, yeah, I know it's difficult for them to want to, kind of take that chance that they want to be able to compete, but that's something that you have to do, kind of like Riley Gaines too, that she stood up for that. And she was like, no, why do we have to compete with a guy? Like, that's just not, it literally is not fair. So yeah, you're right. It has to be the athletes, and it has to be people around them that aren't afraid to stand up for all of this and say, like, stop, we can't have this going on.
Wasn't there also a young girl that was in a school, and she got kind of famous for saying like, "Well, I'm not going to compete," and she got a lot of blowback for that the first time around. Then after a while, everybody was like, "Wait a minute, why are we dunking on that young girl? She's actually right." And then her classmates started backing her up one by one after a while. But when it first came out, everybody was like, "Why are you so bigoted? Why do you have such a problem?" And she basically started crying. She was like, "I just want to compete against my peers and not against someone who's not who just recently turned to one of my peers." That's what she basically said. And I can kind of understand the frustration there, because you've been practicing so hard for your big day, and then it gets ruined by something like that, especially because of the stark difference in biology between men and women. There is a certain advantage,
Yeah, I was just going to say, just like we saw at the Olympics again that you brought up, these women have been training for 4 years, and just to lose just like that to the people that they lost to, like, that's sad. That's really sad.
And it's not even like it's lost to, it was stolen. It's stolen from them. That they worked their lives day and night to get better at the skill that they are passionate about. And then some guy who'd been doing it for like 2 years and decides to do it and like just take it. Like, it's just not fair to us women.
Yeah.
And I'm like I said earlier, I'm happy that we are finally seeing it coming back to normal a little bit. Slowly but surely, it's on the way. But what's not kind of normal right now, but it's kind of like a little stinging a little bit, and it's the untimely manner passing of Liam Payne
I-
from One Direction.
Here's the kicker. I was on Twitter, right? I was scrolling through my phone before I fell asleep, and just saw rest in peace. I was like, okay, who died today, right? Kind of macabre thing to say, but that's just how social media works these days. So I just clicked on it, and I was like, wait a minute, what? Then I just kept scrolling because sometimes you have like these fake deaths that are being announced. I mean, like think about Snoop Dogg, for example, how many times he was announced dead, even though he's not dead, or I don't know. Like there were a few other celebs as well. Then I kept scrolling. I was like, wait a minute, Liam Payne. I was like, huh? And I just kept refreshing the feed because I was like, wait, this can't be right. And yeah, so I broke this news to the ladies as well because I was kind of shocked about this.
Well, you're the one who broke me the news, and I was like, "There's no way!" And then finally sitting down and like catching up on everything is like, "Oh my gosh, it really did happen!" Like it was unreal to take it in that he's gone.
My niece was the one that broke this news to me, and what's so funny is that all she said was, yeah, Liam died. And she didn't even put like his whole name. And automatically when I read it, like I knew automatically because she's such a huge fan of One Direction. And as soon as I read that, I was like, no way. Like, no, this like can't be happening. Like, it's so weird. He's so young. He was only 31 years old. And she didn't tell me how or anything. So in my head, I was like, but like, how? Like, this is just something that just doesn't happen to somebody his age, like every day. It's so sad.
No, it is.
The circumstances about his demise are also a bit, well, let's just say shady. Because allegedly there was like a video that he made like an hour before, but I think some people said that was a little older than that. And he looked a little bit, let's just say, stressed or agitated at the very least. But then again, he was kind of known to have a bit of a substance abuse problem for a while. Well, that's just the price you sometimes pay when you rise to fame and involve yourself with the wrong people. But yeah, who knows what was going on there? But the fact that he like fell off a balcony from the 3rd floor and basically died from his injuries right on the spot is not a way to go, No, not a great way to go.
Oh, that's really sad. Yeah, as we started like learning a little bit more details about it, it was awful. It's really tragic. And he does have, I believe, a 7-year-old little boy. So that makes it so much sadder. Like, he was somebody's dad. He was somebody's son. Like, it's just sad. And I think what made me like so angry and upset about it that I saw is that TMZ actually had pictures of him. And they were trying to say they released photos of his arm that had like his tattoos to prove that it was him. And they were trying to kind of come off as like moral or whatever. And they said, oh no, we're not going to post like the full pictures, even though we have them. But we're just posting these pictures with his tattoos to prove that it was him. And it's like, why would you even do that in the first place? That's disgusting. Like, you're gross.
That's no respect to human life. And then this is a meme that actually, speaks volumes. Like, show the body or show the body. Like, you're doing it for your own satisfaction that you guys have the scoop first and you guys have the first images. Why they did the exact same thing for Kobe Bryant when he passed away. And I remember his widowed wife was the first to hear it from TMZ that Kobe passed. They have no respect, so
you can't even let because we're on different time zones. I'm guessing that all of his family is like probably in the UK, and they were probably asleep at the time. And how awful that they've already been reporting on it for how many hours before they even probably told the parents or his family. And TMZ is trying to like be like, oh no guys, but we didn't show like all the pictures. We were just trying to prove that it was him. Like,
that doesn't make it better though.
The fact that there's media outlets besides TMZ, like Spanish media outlets in Argentina is reporting it, we're taking it, what they're telling us. You don't have to prove it to me that he's dead. So there's other outlets, other sources, TMZ.
Yep.
And then
to be fair, TMZ was never known as the bastion of journalism, so There was a reason
True.
why Kanye West used to be very pissed with their journalists for a while. I'm just saying. I'm just throwing that out there.
Mhm.
I'm not just saying he was justified, but you know, there was a reason why celebs didn't like TMZ that much.
Yes, and I don't know to hell with TMZ, but I am still saddened by Liam Payne because I remember going to see them when they came to town in 2014. I was like, man,
Yeah,
that
I
was
saw
a
them too. I took
yeah.
my little niece.
And that was a
So
core
that-
memory because I
yeah,
remember it
that
like
is
kind
a
of
core
stormed
memory.
really hard, and I was like, I think they're gonna cancel it, and they still went on with the show. I was like, oh, it's still going.
Yeah,
Oh,
that
but-
is a core memory for her, especially that's like a thing that we bonded over because my boy band was NSYNC and
Mhm.
hers was One Direction when they came onto the scene. So I remember having my experience seeing NSYNC in concert, and I was like, you know what, I want her to have the same experience too. So I took her to the concert, and it was like one of the best nights we've ever had. We always like mention it back. Anything that happens with One Direction, like we're always back and forth talking about it. And like, it's just so sad. Like, it was so sad that she was talking to me about it last night because I'm like, this sucks. Like, I can't relate because everybody in NSYNC is still okay. Like, I don't know how I would feel if there was one of them. And to her, this is like such a devastating thing. And it sucks. But yeah, we have those memories. 2014, and I actually decided to wear the t-shirt that I bought.
Oh, you are.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
how
this is
cute.
from their concert.
I like it.
Oh,
Yeah.
I actually remember when they were cast because my parents and I used to watch Britain's Got Talent at the time. Well, my parents did at least. I was just watching in passing, and I remember when the boys were actually cast for the group, and looking back at it, how they went separate ways and how they were individually becoming more and more famous. It was very interesting to see that transformation of all the guys that were in that group back in the day. Especially when you look at like who's still around making music, and I'll just say this: if you have demons that you face, don't face them alone, and seek help. I can't stress this enough.
And
Or
I
if you're struggling, you know.
I think what made this even worse is that he was actually in Argentina because he was going to watch one of Niall Horan's performances there.
Mm-hmm.
So he was in town for that.
Wow.
Yeah, because he would go support the guys at their concerts. I think Louis, I think he was still close to like Louis and Niall. So he would still go see their concerts. And it's just so sad. And then they started posting about him today. I believe that Niall and Zayn already released statements about it. And I think Louis too.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like every single statement that gets released is just sadder and sadder and sadder because they had a lot of drama going on. But I mean, they were basically like brothers. They were so close to each other, traveling the world together for so long. Like, even if you couldn't really necessarily get along with somebody, it has to hurt. You spent so much time with these people and you basically grew up together. So at every level, it has to hurt them. Like, it's so sad. It's super sad.
It is sad. And then I don't want to open the can of worms that the conspiracy theories. I'm like, no, we need to give it time before all that comes out because it's still kind of a little sensitive to me. Because like I said, I grew up on that. I loved listening to them, and that show was super fun because I was with my college girlfriends, and that's when they were in their prime of like, oh, they're so hot and popular. And I just want the best for him, and I just wish that his son was is going to be taken care of and remember his dad from being there in that. But I'm going to go ahead and transition to something else that's going to kind of is a little hopeful, a little seemingful, that I'm kind of a little skeptic, but I'm going to put some big faith in it. And it's the new news that came out about Spider-Man 4 that Tom Holland recently came out that it's going to happen. I know, Smu, you are a fan of this. What's your perspective on this?
I mean, I'll be honest. I like the Tom Holland trilogy. Obviously, I grew up with Tobey Maguire, so Tobey Maguire always will be my Spider-Man. But actually kind of like the Sony Spider-Man trilogy because it actually, managed to entertain people, and it has been pretty consistent. Unless you weren't a massive fan of multiverses, then maybe No Way Home was not exactly your cup of tea. But yeah, I'm a bit skeptical when it comes to Spider-Man 4, because I heard the director of Shang-Chi's doing this one instead of the one who did the original trilogy with Tom Holland. And I'm curious how they're going to bring back Zendaya in a regard, because, well, I don't know if I should spoil it or not, but technically they would have an excuse to not reuse her as a character. But we just have to wait and see. I'm cautiously optimistic about this one, especially with him coming back. And usually the Tom Holland movies have been pretty solid at the very least. I mean, Far From Home was still fine, even though it was not like the strongest movie in the trilogy for me. But it's fine, you know. And I heard rumors that Andrew Garfield potentially comes back for this one. He's been making hints about returning again. Well, and you know how Andrew and Tom are. They can never shut their gobs about certain things. Especially Tom.
British.
Oh,
Yeah.
Well, Tom was really bad. He spoiled so many things for people. He's like, "Oh, did you know this and that?" And everybody's like, "No, shut up."
Yeah,
Oh.
I love that everyone
He's
always had to
so
babysit
adorable.
him.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
They always had like specific people next to him to know that
Yep.
they could shut him up immediately.
Benedict
love that so much.
Cumberbatch was one of the best.
But Benedict Cumberbatch was pretty good about that, though. He was like being a bit more humorous about it. But yeah, I'm curious, because it's kind of a reset for Tom, especially because if you followed the events of the third movie, he's kind of a nobody now to people, because Doctor Strange at the end of the movie wipes everybody's memory of Peter Parker. That's why you don't see his face in the Deadpool movie, for example, in that brief cameo that Happy Hogan had. His face is obscured on the photo with Tony Stark, because everybody kind of forgot about who he actually was. And I'm curious how they're going to play this, and if they're going to potentially introduce a new love interest instead of Zendaya, because there's been rumors circulating in fan castings about Sydney Sweeney being Black Cat, or potentially somebody playing Gwen Stacy. So,
And then we already have.
I'm so over Sydney Sweeney.
girl, thank you.
God.
Thank you.
Me too.
Ugh.
Every time in the G&G chats, they're like, "Oh, show Sydney Sweeney." So, and I'm like,
Yeah.
Tell us how you really feel, Jess.
It's too much. It's
Oh.
way too much.
Like, I get it, but
I know. and
I
it's
get it, but I don't get it.
It's like,
yeah.
you know,
Mhm.
she's
Yeah, I'm
not
the
that
same.
great of an actress. We all
No,
know why
she's
you like her. It's just her boobs. Come on.
Yeah.
We can always say admit it.
Well,
Yeah, it's just
some
her
would argue
boobs.
that's her
But it's like,
personality, but
And she's
it's
not.
a little sexist.
She's not. I mean, and take that away. She's not even
What does
pretty
she got?
either.
Oh,
I don't think she's
they're all-
pretty.
they're all upset about the biopic she's doing about this.
Oh, the wrestler?
boxer.
Yeah, the
Oh.
boxer. The boxer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
And they're like, "Oh,
I did-
what
I-
happened?" And I'm like, "What?"
I
do
had
you
to like double
expect?
check if that was her. I was like, we just squinting. I was like, huh?
I'm gonna bring that up, but
Take
you're
away the
right.
boobs.
She
Who
wants
is
to be
she?
taken
Huh?
seriously.
Yep.
Yeah, they're gonna take her seriously. All right.
Well, they should.
They're just making her as a viewing piece versus, you know, her potentially getting an Oscar or something. But you know,
That girl, I don't
Let's
see
just
her.
say
getting
she
all-
knows what she's doing, but she's not exactly like a very good actress. You know,
But
but she knows how to
anyway.
market herself.
It's crazy though, because she made a movie with Ana de Armas, and I'm like,
Mhm.
you guys should focus on Ana de Armas. She's gorgeous.
yes.
She
Yes.
actually knows how to act. I'm like,
Uh-huh.
she is probably someone that I can understand that a guy would go gaga over like completely. Sydney Sweeney, I'm like, okay, I get it, but at the same time, take that away. And what else does she really
What
have
is she?
left?
Yeah.
Yeah. I always have to think of that one scene in Blade Runner when Ryan Gosling is looking up at this giant neon sign of her that kind of became a meme. And I gotta say, I didn't recognize her at first when I first watched the movie, and I was first exposed to her by Knives Out, the terrible Ryan Johnson movie. I was like, that's Ana de Armas. I was like, dang.
Pretty much, I found that photo of her.
Fact.
Yeah, there it is. And they're all the guys are all, oh, what happened to her? And I'm like, what do you expect? She's playing a role of,
Yeah.
and she's supposed to look like this chick. She's not going to be her. What do you expect, guys?
I've heard comparisons between her and Florence Pugh with this kind of hairstyle. And I was like, no, just don't.
So, do you find this attractive? Girl in like gray sweatpants and then cut off arm shirt.
She just
I
looks
mean,
like a goofy young
if you
girl.
want to wear it, by all means, but she's not exactly the type to wear this kind of stuff, in my opinion. Even if she's an actress and she's just doing her job, but it's just how it is,
Yeah, no, I'm tired of her. There needs to be a new
No,
actress.
hold on.
Everyone goes crazy over. Yeah, I'm like, And then the bad thing is that there's somebody that I follow that posts her daily, if not like 3-4 times a day, that I'm like, I'm this close to muting this person because I'm so over it. I'm like, I get it, but I'm over it
Are we
already.
both
Like, I
following
don't.
that person?
I think I might know who you're talking about.
I'm like, dude, we get it. Like, oh
She
my
has-
I
god.
was thinking suspicion who you're talking about.
She got a good pair of knockers on her.
Yeah, I'm like
Yeah.
this close to just muting and being like,
Yeah.
done.
Mm-hmm.
And I think what's funny is that I don't remember who it was, but one of the ladies posted something and they were like, I've been seeing way too much of Sydney Sweeney on my timeline and I just wanted to post something for the ladies. And I think I forgot which actor they posted, but right away all the guys underneath were like, we don't want to see this.
What?
Really?
Okay. What if I wanted to see it?
Yeah,
Like,
they were
I know-
like, we don't want to see a bunch of dudes, and like, so we're just supposed to want to see a bunch of Sydney Sweeney like all over the place, like.
And then she knows how to market her boobs, not herself. That's true. We
Yeah.
only know her as her boobs.
Yeah, like if she
Exactly.
did like a neck up post, nobody would give a shit.
No, they
She
wouldn't.
knows how
No,
to market
nobody
her
would.
chest, nothing
No,
else.
Nobody.
Like if you're an
Yeah,
actress,
nobody.
market yourself. Yeah, go with the cleavage to draw people's attention, but you also need to be able to act and have, other features to showcase. If it's
Yeah.
You need
just
to have
cleavage,
talent.
you got nothing really.
Smu, you should do it. Do like a social experiment. One day, post
Mhm.
Sydney Sweeney, make sure that her boobs are front and center, and then the next day, just post her face and see what happens.
What happened?
Yep.
That's a good idea. I might actually
Yes.
do that.
Yeah.
Social experiment. They'll believe it from
Mhm.
you because you're a guy. Like if we did it, they'd be like,
Really?
Also, I bet half
I'm
the
writing that
comments
down
would just be.
immediately.
I bet half the comments of that second picture you post are just going to be like people reacting with pictures of her.
I know what the
cleavage.
reaction's going to be.
They
Where
can
are
see
her
it.
boobs?
And
That's
then
not even
the
a
eraser
question.
button does say that
Yep.
you underestimate the male ability to fill in the blanks. So
That's
we'll
what
keep
reading
you guys
books was
posted.
for, is to erase a button. Like imagination.
No,
I'm just
they
saying.
don't. I don't know, but she does have like a unique flavor with the bai drinks, which is like a lemon raspberry flavor. That's the only thing I like about Sydney Sweeney. That's it. It's like, okay, I actually like it.
I didn't know she did that.
She's with bai and she created that flavor for them.
Oh, I had
I
no
didn't know
idea.
that.
Which is okay because the reason why no one heard about it is because our boobs are not shown. Because it's it's a drink, it's a beverage product, so they want to get people to buy the drinks. But I was like, oh, I only got it because I was like, oh, those are the flavors I usually go for. I don't care about Sydney Sweeney, and I drank it. It's like, this is actually pretty good.
Here's a recent
if you-
example of something she was
is
involved
that a
in.
cat?
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm sorry.
Oh,
That's okay.
calm
I'm like,
down.
let me see the baby.
Aw.
Here's,
Yeah, but
Pause
you-
the
you-
stream. We need pet
here's
pictures.
one of my
and pet
cats
video.
where you can't pick him up. He's one that's like, no, don't pick me up.
Oh,
But he's a
poor kitty.
sweetie. My other cat, I could grab him and be like, here he is.
Yeah, bring your cat. We want to see.
Yeah.
If he'll appear.
Oh, okay, not a
But-
problem.
I'm going to watch out for him.
just bring it back to
Sorry,
cats.
Smu.
He's a reason. That's okay. He's a recent example of something she was involved in that massively flopped. Madam Web.
Oh,
And there was a reason for that. They went out of their way to cover up as much as humanly possible. And that, considering how much she's known for her,
stalkers.
boobs, it's kind of funny because at the red carpet premiere of the movie, she was going out of her way to dress as sexy as possible with Dakota Johnson, and everybody's like, "Why weren't you wearing this outfit in the movie?" People were arguing that if she would have shown more skin, the movie would have done way better. I would argue it wouldn't have made a difference.
I don't think her boobs would have saved that movie. I'm sorry. That was a terrible movie. I saw it and I hated everything.
And here's the thing. If you watched Euphoria, you already knew what she looked like naked.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, yeah.
So people are expecting that to see that in Madam Web. But we said it earlier that she she markets her boobs. Oh,
Cat.
It's Ronaldo.
Oh, so cute. The cat's like, what am I doing here, Mom? Oh, so cute.
Ronaldo makes his appearance online.
Oh, he's actually made his appearance multiple times, actually.
Oh.
Showing his butt. He likes to show his butt.
Oh no.
That's what cats love to do generally. When they're on live streams.
I've noticed that cats like to do that. That's so funny.
Yep.
Yeah, and he's not
Somebody's
named
cat does
for
that all the time.
he's not named for the famous soccer player, by the way. A lot of people have asked me, and I'm like, no. It's from Potter Puppet Pals. The episode called The Vortex.
Yes.
Where Ron gets stuck in the vortex, and then when they finally get him out, he comes out and he's wearing a leather jacket and sunglasses, and he goes, and they're like, Ron, what happened to you? And he's like, it's Ronaldo now. So like,
I miss Potter Puppet
that's so
Pals.
great. Yeah.
that was like 13 years ago when I did that.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, but still.
But that was
So
like
great.
good content that we'd still watch if it came back right now. I'd watch that over Lord of the Rings
Yeah.
or Rings of Power.
Rings of Power, yeah.
Heck yeah.
Mhm.
Uh-huh.
For sure.
Yes. And then Tara Crystal says, nobody wanted to see Madam Web. The Marvel universe is basically dead. And you're not wrong. Tara
No,
Crystal.
You ain't
not
wrong.
wrong at all.
And I know they just recently came out with the new logo for Marvel too, and it has all the different characters on it. It's like, that's not that great, and it's not selling me.
I mean, I can bring this up as a fellow gamer here, but I don't know. I think I pointed that out to you, Nomi. You remember Shang-Chi when he popped out in the Fortnite shop the other day?
Yeah.
He didn't look anything like Simu Liu, and I was like just laughing my ass off because it was like they actively went out of their way to make Shang-Chi look more Chinese than he actually looked in the MCU. And it's still pretty funny to me.
Mm-hmm.
But shout out to Simu Liu. You managed to do something that nobody really thought was impossible. My God, English. You did something that nobody thought was possible. You made Brie Larson even more likable than yourself. Congratulations.
And she's
And I thought
really
Rachel
not
Zegler already
likable,
took that
in my
crown from him.
opinion. That girl is not likable.
She's
Like, I don't-
overrated. She's
on.
overrated.
Brie Larson.
I don't like her.
I know where my brain is wandering off to, and I hate myself for thinking
She's
about
another
that because
one.
of
Can
all the
you-
memes.
Can you imagine
Oh.
if they made a movie with Brie Larson, Rachel Zegler, Simu Liu, Amanda Stenberg, Cynthia Erivo?
Oh, God.
It's called the Unlikables.
I
Perfect
want that
marketing.
movie. I want that movie to
But
see
who's
what
the
like that the promo
You know
How
is.
bad they are.
You know what I'm going to do?
unlikable?
Once we're off the air, I'm going to ask Grok, the Twitter AI, to write me a script for or a movie with all these actresses in it, and I'm going to post the script on Twitter. Just for the lulz.
Yes.
Do it.
Oh my
That'd
gosh.
be funny.
Do it.
Do it.
Yeah. So I wouldn't say I met her, but I saw Brie Larson in Denver at Fan Expo this year. She is
It's like a personal
Not-
attack or something.
no, almost, but no, she is not a tall woman. and she is very petite. I thought she was a little kid when I saw her.
Isn't she a vegan?
I could insert a
Isn't
Disney
she
joke
a
here, but I
vegan or
won't.
something?
I think
I don't
she is.
know.
Jessica,
Because she looks
Probably.
like so skeletal lately to me. I'm like, dang girl, you're
They
like
needed a booty model for Captain Marvel, for crying out loud. Just because her butt was so flat, they actually had
no
to
booty.
make a butt double for her.
Yes. Well,
poor
yeah,
girl.
she needed to get silicone pumped. But anyway, she was not. I honestly thought she was a little kid when I saw her. It's like I think maybe she was 5'5".
And they make her come off like she's so tall because she's playing like a superhero. That's so weird.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, so
Ew.
that's the more you know about Brie Larson, guys. She has tacky feet and she looks like a little kid.
Ew.
Why did you have to bring up her feet?
Oh God.
But Cav, I can tell you she was not wearing open toe footwear. She was wearing sneakers. So even the sneakers didn't do her justice in height. Yes.
Let me look for the video I was thinking of when you mentioned the.
Imagine being those pedals and like not even a booty insert works. You're a whole new person just to do like. Oh, Rachel!
Rachel coming in hot.
I mean,
Rachel's
that's true.
out loud.
She's not wrong.
Rachel speaks the truth, but I know, Smu, that you're gonna get a little video coming up. But I kind of want to go into talking about Terrifier 3 and how it annihilated Joker 2. Because
what was the budget for Terrifier 3, by the way? I'm
$2 million.
Just what?
$2 million. $2 million. That was the budget
What?
for Terrifier.
Wow.
3.
What? Really?
Yeah.
I thought it was lower than that for some reason.
To quote a certain YouTuber, now this shocks me.
Yeah. I think they've been increasing it by a little bit each time. Because I think the very first one that he made, I think he made it for like 250,000.
Oh,
And then
okay.
I think the second
That's
one
what I was
like,
thinking about.
yeah. So I believe this one was 2 million only. And then but yeah. Have any of you guys seen Joker 2?
I haven't even seen the first one.
I refuse.
Me
I
either.
refuse to
I
watch
haven't
the
seen the
second
first one. I want to see the first one, but I've heard nothing good about the second, so I can't bring myself to do it.
I'm kind
It
of
is the
hesitant.
polar opposite.
I'm kind of hesitant because of like what's been spoiled to me of what happens to him in prison.
Oh yeah, I already.
That scene, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what I'm like. I kind of don't want to see that, or even just like image engineer, or just kind of give you the hint that it's happening. I don't want to experience that because that's basically mocking all of DC and who Joker is. So
just super quick on the budgets. So Terrifier 1 was made for 35,000. That's it. 35,000.
Oh my god.
Terrifier 2.
Wow.
Yeah, Terrifier 2 was made for 250,000 and Terrifier 3 was made for 2 million. That's crazy.
Crazy.
And I think Joker, how much was the budget for Joker?
It was like in the triple digits for sure.
Like 200 million, I think, for part
something.
2.
Yeah, way more than 2 million.
Yeah, and everybody was asking where that money went. It was 200 million. Yep. Bang on.
Wow.
They could have saved a lot of money filming in the UK, but no, Todd Phillips insisted on filming in Los Angeles, and that skyrocketed the budget by like 30%. Wow. They could have gotten a tax write-off from the British government, but he was like, nah, I'm good. It is ridiculous.
And then we got like other horror
Oh my! Oh, yeah, that's true. True. Evil Dead was on a budget too, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
It shows in places, especially if you rewatch it, but it's still a fun movie.
But I recently saw Terrifier 3 and it was good. And I can't say like it compares to Joker 2 because I haven't seen it, but for the budget that Terrifier had, I liked the cinematography in it. Like even though it's like a gory movie, but I did like how they used an old school kind of 80 vibes film like image on it. That's the reason why I liked it. They had good shots, not away from the gory stuff, but like there was trees and there was malls. Like you can see people. I won't spoil a lot, but people that were in the background, they were blurred out, and I liked that because it was still paying attention to whoever was in front of the camera that's supposed or giving the lines. So, but yes.
I think he needs to watch it though, because Damien Leone, the director and the writer of Terrifier, I think he needs to watch it a little bit though. Is that I know he's making a lot of money and he wants to put it back into the films. But what I noticed between part 1 to part 3 is that he's kind of losing that feel of it looking a little bit low budget. Like I wish he would stick to the cameras that he was using before, because they kind of gave you that like grainy, like kind of feeling to it that you were watching like an 80s movie. And Terrifier 3 looks a little bit more cleaner, and obviously they have more money for it. But I feel that's a lot of fans actually liked about it, is that it looked like a classic movie, that if you were to watch it and not tell anybody when it was made, they would tell you, oh yeah, no, this totally looks like something that came out in the 90s, something that came out in the 80s. And the brand new one, yeah, you can tell that he's got a bigger budget and he's definitely using it for cameras and all that stuff, which is great. But I kind of like that little graininess that they used to have in the movies too. But I mean, that's cool. I actually kind of like this, that he's been able to make this such a big franchise and that it's so gory and crazy. And then people are going crazy over Art the Clown because he's hilarious. I think he's so funny.
Yeah.
Like he's
for being the psychotic demon that he is.
For being what he is, like he's so funny, and it's the actor. Like the actor is so fantastic. And if you see him like in interviews in real life, he's like the nicest guy ever. You wouldn't even suspect that he plays Art the Clown. Like, but he loves what he's doing with this character, and it's so funny just seeing them side by side, like what he does in the movies. And then how he is in interviews, and you're like, that's crazy. Like, what a good actor.
Yeah. And like, yeah, good actor in that. And then lower budget adds a lot to atmosphere. It does.
Yeah,
it does. It's either you know how to use the tools that you've been given because you're on a budget and make it work. And then also, good story. It's an original. I like it because it could have flopped easily because no one was going to see like, oh, Killer Clowns, it's already been done before. But here's the twist to it. So people got into it, loved it, and then now he's like an icon right now in this generation of like, oh, he's kind of like killing it literally in the horror realm for it. So yeah, so when
he's actually trying to tell you a story too. Like if you take away a lot of the gory stuff about it and somebody edited it to just be like what the character's going through, Sienna, the protagonist, there were some parts in it that like she's such a great actress too, because she's going through all of this trauma from what happened to her, and just the way that they portray all of that is so real. Like it makes you actually have a lot of emotions and that you actually care about this character, which I think is really rare these days when they give you a character that you're supposed to care about. And you're like, yeah, they're kind of a jerk. I don't like this person. Like if something happens to them, whatever, it's fine. But like with her, she's such a great actress, the way that she's portraying that she's so traumatized by what happened to her that you just can't help but feel so bad for her and what happened. And it just gets so much worse for her in this movie. Like it's crazy.
Well, another thing I liked about it is that I don't want to do too much spoilers. I don't know if anyone on the panel wants to see it or chat wants to see it, but there's one scene where she admits, like,
Jessica, you're like, no.
I'm not a huge horror fan. So
thank you. I'm not either. So.
I just don't like gory things.
Jessica, that's so funny. I just hear her go.
She's just hypnotized by the image on the screen right now.
Oh, I'm sorry. Am I causing problems?
But I also think it's really funny how like a creepy clown movie is beating another creepy clown movie.
Yeah.
It's really funny.
I don't think anybody expected that. That is really funny.
I'll just say this: I'm glad I don't have a crippling fear of clowns.
Yeah.
Mm.
I
Yeah.
do kind of have a slight fear of
I
clowns.
Oh,
don't know if you
shoot, I'm
remember all
sorry.
these web videos that they used to do, where they prank
Not
people
horribly,
with
but you know.
prank people in the parking lot with clowns and stuff in the early 20s, 2000s,
Oh my
in the early
gosh.
2000s. That was so messed up. They even like props that made it look like they were actually committing some horrendous stuff. And I was like, man, I'm kind of glad I wasn't there when that was filmed.
Well, I think
That
for
was like-
the promotion for the first It movie, the remake, they actually had people dressed as clowns just standing around places so that people could film them and then upload them. And everybody was like, why are there so many creepy clowns everywhere? And of course, that got the conversation going that, oh yeah, the It movie's gonna come out. So everybody was being crazy, like clowns. And I don't like clowns either. They're not my favorite thing ever.
You know what the
Oh.
funny thing is, Dr. Rachel, to piggyback from what you were saying there with the musical movie.
It's
That's I think a similar movie will suffer a similar fate relatively soon.
Mm.
The Wicked Witch of the West, you might just suffer a similar fate.
Mhm.
Uh-huh.
Especially when you consider how the actress is behaving recently. I don't really I don't think she's doing herself a favor in that regard.
Well, we actually talked about that a little while ago, Smu, before you hopped
I know.
on. But yeah, I kind of do see that kind of bombing a little bit because.
But the thing is, it's like I said on Twitter the other day. She's acting like she's been erased from the movie when John Boyega was literally shrunk on the poster for the Chinese releases of Star Wars, or Chadwick Boseman was had the Black Panther mask on the poster as well. And then you have the I'm not going to go into too much detail, but there is literally a Chinese advert on YouTube that turns a black guy into a Chinese guy. It's a washing detergent ad, and it's still on
washing
YouTube.
machine one.
Oh my god!
It is still on YouTube. It is
It's-
still on YouTube.
Wow.
And people say
I'm
Americans are
shocked it's
racist.
Still on YouTube.
I am too. I am too. But yeah, it is literally on YouTube.
Oh,
But you know, Asians are very racist against each other. So, you know.
I'm racist against myself. So what am I going to say? I hate
Yeah,
myself.
right, you know.
oh gosh. Oh,
I'm just kidding. I don't hate myself. But I was just looking at like movies with low budgets because we were still talking about Terrifier, and Blair Witch Project popped up. $60K was the budget for that movie.
Yep.
$60K. I was like, wow.
Yeah.
It is amazing to me that that movie costs so much because it looked a lot less than that.
As
Oh.
probably maybe marketing. It went into
Yeah, that could be
a
it.
lot of the marketing because they tried to sell it to us as if this was like something that really happened, like they were real tapes, and
here's the-
that's probably where a lot of the marketing went into it.
Well, yeah, a
But
lot
yeah,
of people legit
I think-
thought it was real.
Yeah, a
45
lot of people think
million?
it was real.
Yeah.
It looked creepy.
Yeah. Oh my god.
But I think people underestimate horror movies. If somebody makes like a really good horror movie, it's gonna make a lot of money, especially if they know how to market it. Like Long Legs.
yeah.
That one did really, really well too. And then that movie turned out to be awful. It was really bad. So I think it kind of lost steam there at the end when people kind of realized and thought about it, and they were like, this movie kind of sucks. Like the marketing was so much better than the actual movie.
Well, it actually
Tragic.
came out to. I think it was today that they're gonna put Long Legs
Re-release
back into
it.
theater. Yeah, because it's Halloween.
But like it's not a good movie though. It's not good. Like Smile 2 is coming out this weekend. And I don't think that one's gonna be as good as the first one either. It's just sometimes they should just make it like a one and done and that's it for
Yep.
horror movies because it can get kind of
Yeah.
bizarre that you're trying to come up with like actual storylines. At least with Terrifier, they've kind of given Art the Clown like a little background and they're adding lore to him. But sometimes with
That's
things
the
like
difference. Yeah.
yeah, that's the difference. So when you have something like Smile, where you can't really tell your audience too much about what's going on, or else you kind of ruin the whole movie. And then you keep trying to make like a part 2, 3, whatever. It's not.
Yeah.
it's not gonna work.
Yeah, really.
Mm-hmm. Excuse me.
But yeah, typically. Oh,
There's
sorry,
a
Nomi.
bucket?
We're gonna say.
No.
Yeah, there's a bucket.
The popcorn buckets have been like a thing this year, man. Like,
Yeah, they're
The
really
only
killing
one
it.
I bought was the
Popular.
Deadpool
Popcorn
one.
buckets.
Yeah, they're killing it with the popcorn bucket.
everybody wants the
Mhm.
popcorn buckets.
The only one I bought was the Deadpool one, and that was me. I had to openly carry that with the lid open, so people wouldn't think I was carrying around a severed head in public. It was that bad. But yeah, I also looked up another movie that was sprung to mind. I actually posted it in the chat. Winnie Pooh: Blood and Honey.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah,
50K budget. That was that actually came out last year.
And then they're making a second one, aren't they?
Yeah, they're making
They're
a
making a
second
second one.
Mm-hmm.
There's a third one in planning as well. So we're gonna get a whole trilogy of that.
Wow.
They're gonna call it the Pooniverse.
I
Even though
guess
was-
it.
Yeah, I my thoughts exactly, Jess. I was like,
Maybe we need Jay to
Boo.
come in and trip.
I know where your minds went to. I know.
Oh yeah.
I just didn't expect that to.
I guess it.
Yeah.
I guess that found an audience because I gave the first one a chance and I was like, what the hell is this? Like, this is so stupid.
Aren't they making a horror version of Steamboat Willie as well? Wasn't that a thing?
I think so.
I'm not sure.
I don't doubt
Or the original Mickey, at least? There was something, but let me have a look. Is it-
I was gonna.
Yeah, there was something.
Mhm. I was gonna say something, but I hiked up at the same time and I forgot. I lost my train of thought. Hello, shadowy figure. Nice to see you
Hello.
here.
It's
We have
Screamboat.
your honeypot connected universe.
Oh,
Oh, that's right. I was gonna say, like with Terrifier, like there's a lore you're building up to it. Without giving too much details, there is a potential for the fourth.
no, yeah, he
And-
already said he's gonna make 2 more.
Okay. I won't give too much
Okay.
spoilers out because I don't want to ruin for the fans. I know Jessica's gonna be the first in line to see the fourth one coming. But,
Oh yeah.
But- but I just hope they don't make it around a certain character that I'm like, I don't like that if that's what I think it is. So, but that's just me. But I'm looking forward to the last two. And then, oh gosh, Screamboat is the Steamboat Willie version of horror.
A late night boat ride turns
Oh,
into a
man.
desperate fight for survival in New York City when a mischievous mouse becomes a monstrous reality. Can a motley crew survive a killer creature with a taste for tourists?
That sounds like current day Disney right now.
Oh my gosh! And it's oh, sorry, I'm like freaking out because it says that Steamboat Willie is going to be played by David Howard Thornton. He plays Art the Clown.
Yes.
That's perfect. That's actually perfect casting.
So Lily knows what she's gonna do. Like when this comes out.
I mean, it's coming out next year. It's coming out next year.
Like I'll give this a chance.
Mark your calendar.
And it's a game, so it's a game, or is it like a movie?
It's a movie. That's a movie coming out next year.
What?
If I click at the poster,
It's
it
a
says like from the
comedy
producers of
horror.
Terrifier 2 and Mean One. There you go.
Oh look, yeah, look.
Purifier 2 and Mean One. Huh?
Wow.
I'll check it
love
out.
I love that there's like childhood movies that get turned into horror movies now. I'm like, what's next? Peter Pan? like the possibilities
Don't
are
give them
endless there.
ideas.
Yeah.
No,
Was
it's
he
not
trying
It's
to-
ideas.
the inevitable Donald
Although
the
it's-
Duck slasher movie, okay?
Well, I
will
think
say,
they're
horror remakes are going to be better than like just the stupid like live action remakes that are going
Right.
on
Yeah.
now. So I'd rather watch a horror remake of something.
Well, I think they took
Yeah.
advantage of this because I think Mickey Mouse went back into the what do they call it? Like
Public
Public
domain.
domain?
public
public-
domain.
yeah.
Yeah. So I
It's
think
only-
as soon as
It's only Steamboat Willie, obviously, because Steamboat Willie is, quite old, but
Yep.
not actually Mickey Mouse himself. But yeah,
Mhm.
Steamboat Willie is in public domain now, so they can do
Okay.
whatever the heck they want with them. And
Yeah,
Disney
this is what
can't
they
do
do.
shit.
this is what they decided to do. That's so great.
But
Oh, he's
no,
kind of creepy looking in a way if you make him like, scary. So
watch Screamboat's gonna have a budget of like what $100,000, and it's gonna make triple, maybe like quadruple that amount, and then Disney's gonna wonder like, why didn't we go with that route? Because like, they had good writers.
They're gonna try to find a way to sue.
They
yeah,
are.
probably gonna find
Probably.
some sort of way.
Yeah,
Wouldn't
with
surprise me.
what's going on right now. Gosh,
It's like
I
y'all
know
don't even use Steamboat Willie anymore.
he's not Steamboat Willie anymore, guys. He's not the one that you grew up with. But before we continue, Jess, I kind of want to ask you a couple of questions before we end the show. I know we love you. We know who you are. We love you on Twitter. We've seen you around. But tell us a little bit more about you to our guests. Like we know who you are in the G&G sphere, but let's get to know a little bit more about Jessika, since we have.
Well,
you.
I could start how I kind of found the whole community and everything.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I always love these
Good
stories.
job.
It started in 2018 when I found Jeremy's channel, and I was like,
Of course.
"Who's this guy?"
Of course, it's
I was
Jeremy.
like,
Of course.
What a way to
"Oh."
start.
It all started
I was
with
like,
some guy from
hey.
Alabama on the internet.
Wearing
Oh my
Crocs.
God. I know, but it was because for the longest time, I mean, I've been a huge nerd my whole life. Like I loved anime, I loved I love books and all that stuff. So when it started showing signs of wokeness, I was going like, ugh. So I kind of like stopped getting into anything, at least new, because I was like, I don't want to deal with this weird stuff that they're putting in it now. So, and then when I found his channel and he was going like, I like Trump and I like video games, and I'm like, okay, he's safe. Okay, good.
He's safe.
But I was a lurker. I was a lurker for the longest time. I didn't say anything until like I would say like a year ago, when I was like, okay, maybe I'll type something in the chat. I was like so nervous to even type hi. Like I was a nervous Nelly. So when I finally started typing in chat, then all of a sudden it's like, oh, then you talk to more people. And then, and then obviously after Quarter Black Garrett left Crowder, then it's like found FNT. And you're like, oh my God, my people. And then from then on, here we are.
Ooh,
Nice.
Yay.
yeah.
My nerd people. It's my nerd people.
The nerd
You're
people.
most nerds.
The safe ones.
Yeah,
the safe ones.
The logical thinking
The
ones.
non-woke ones. Because
I love the
honestly,
fact that
that's who I
Steven
was.
Crowder is the binding thing for a lot of people to actually having discovered the fellowship, because that's what it was for me. I blame the quartering and Steven Crowder for that one, because quartering put me onto FNT.
Not Dr. Rachel.
Well, he did. Oh, well, he's the boss,
Hashtag the safe ones. Yes.
Hashtag safe ones.
Isn't that so good?
Some guy
'Cause,
from
like,
Alabama.
we all know Jeremy, like he's the safe.
You actually reminded me of the idea I had. I still need to print that fake super chat I wanted to give to Jeremy.
He's so
Oh.
funny. Oh my god.
All right.
Because
do it.
that man cannot pronounce my name properly. He calls me Smu all the time, and I'm getting slightly insulted by that.
What? You know what?
He can't pronounce orangutan properly.
No.
either.
Orangutan. It's Orangutan, Dr. Rachel.
What,
and
what's up,
he's-
Chris?
Sorry.
He
What's
said
up,
many
Jess?
things wrong. But you know what I was very proud of? Beardo. Beardo said my name right recently. Like a
Oh,
couple days ago.
Aw.
I was like, Beardo, you did it! You did it!
Oh, well done, Peter.
So for those who
you're
don't
the
know,
gold star. You're the gold
for those who don't know, Jessica, how do you pronounce your name?
Lindstrom.
Lindstrom. So you do it the proper way.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Good.
so I saw
It's
your
very
name. It's like it's
Swedish.
Lindstrom. Or Lindstrom or Lindstrom?
Strum. Like
Strum.
strum.
Okay.
Strum.
It's
Ooh.
Swedish. Everybody. Okay, there's not a day in the chat that somebody doesn't ask me, "Are you Swedish? Are you from Sweden?" And I'm like, "Yes, I am Swedish, but I'm not from there." Or sometimes somebody from Sweden will type something in Swedish to me, and I go, "I don't know what you're saying."
Can you speak English to me?
Sorry, I speak American.
No se habla español?
Yeah, so it's so funny. So yeah, there's people who literally will ask her, "Are you from Sweden? Are you Sweden?" Yes, but I'm not from there. So sorry.
Remember when Dan Vasquez was making fun of you?
Oh, he called me ugly.
I remember.
Because I was like, Dan, I was just being goofy. Dan, your earring is gay. And he was like, well, you're just ugly, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like,
Damn, Dan.
Those are fighting
Yeah,
words, Dan.
Dan.
Jeez.
Okay.
Yes.
Woman.
Unless
I remember
unless
that.
he knows who
Holy
you unless Dan
PMSing.
knows who you are, he's gonna go hard if you make fun of him for
Oh my
anything.
God.
Well, if Dan will meet
I
Jessica, he will learn the meaning of humiliation.
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 Yeah.
And then in
But
Vegas,
like that's something that people always make fun of him for, though. Like, it's not something that you picked out. That's like,
I was just being goofy. I'm like, and I even went like, LOL, like your earring looks gay. But you can't read sarcasm in text, so I don't really.
I mean, have
Yeah.
you
I
seen
don't
Dan
take
without a
it.
man bun today? I mean, he's the living proof that some man buns are gay and others should be wearing them.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
But then in Vegas, I
Dan has a
told
funny way of
Gary-
pronouncing things. I'll just say
I told
that.
Gary when I talked to him, I was like, "Yeah, Dan called me ugly because I made fun of his earring and called it gay." And he was like, "Well, he's gay." And I was like, "Oh, there you go."
Yep.
Gary
Facts.
said it. Confirmed.
I was like, "He said it."
You know it's
Oh
true
my
because Sarah
gosh,
said it.
Dan.
Oh. Well, Dan is wrong. You're gorgeous. So
Oh.
He's definitely wrong. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
wrong. He missed it there. Sorry,
I know.
Dad.
I know if it's the joking context, like let's talk reality real quick. No, you're gorgeous, and like I just remember like I've seen you around in the chats when I saw you in real life in Vegas. Like, oh, that's Jessica. Okay, and then like never really had a chance to like talk, and then I think it was just like us seeing each other around, and then what was it like someone gave me a chicken sandwich, and then you're like, you're always eating. It's like I am because I like to eat. So I was
girl,
like,
you gotta
oh, and I think that was like the day before I had an eating competition, or no, I went to go eat at an all-you-can-eat meat buffet with Dermy Wormy, and
Dang, girl.
he had 13 plates of food, and I had 20 plates of food. So yes,
Nomi, it's plate. We established this already.
latte.
Lattes.
Lattes, yeah. So, but that's what I like about the community in this fellowship that we're all in, is that we can see and meet people, right thinking, safe ones. Like, oh, these are the right ones. So that's why I was like, nah, Jessica's cool. I wanted to be on the show and just like, hang out with us and give us her 2 cents. But dear, thank you so much for joining us tonight. I really appreciate it. Where can we find you on the socials?
Well, obviously, you can find me on my Twitter right here, Jess Lindst. Follow me on there where I, post random things or, my articles and be like, hey, if you want to read this, go ahead and read it.
Go follow her, guys. Go follow her.
Yes, she's
Yes.
funny. And
Link is in the description down below, guys.
I also will say that I like that you're not shy anymore, because I do see you active in chats. I was like, there she is.
Oh, yeah. I'm around now. Oh, yeah.
Good. Good.
Hence why now I've become a moderator on those, and I'm just like, I can ban you if you do something bad.
Every time there's a G&G stream, I'm like, well, where's Jess? And I'm always scanning the chat, and when I see her, it's like, there she is.
Yeah, there I am.
One of the times that Dad comes in, you should like ban him for a little bit.
Time him out.
Hey, Dad,
I'm gonna time you out,
remember me? Remember me?
That'd be funny. Oh God, just like time her out
Sweet
for like a
revenge.
minute or something.
Yeah, time him out for like a minute. Be like, hey, Dad,
Like, what
remember
happened?
me? Then
Like,
time him
hey,
out.
you called me
That's-
ugly.
That's what I was gonna say. It's like, you called me ugly, banned.
Even though I joke with the people who go on about the breeds, I go, I'm gonna ban you, weird feet people. I'm watching you.
That's the
I'm
real
gonna
thing.
do it.
Yes.
I'm gonna get
Yes.
you.
Yep.
I can see Jeremy just being confused when you time out. He's like, what the fuck, Jessica? What did you do?
I'm like, let me tell you.
Just laughing is hysterical.
Oh my
Freaking
gosh.
Jeremy, he's so funny. Oh my
He was
god.
so
And
funny.
Jeremy
Oh,
from the
love
chat.
Jeremy.
God. One time I got so upset when he said something. He said some like easy word wrong, and I went, Jeremy, what do you? And he's like, Jessica's yelling at me, and I go, yeah, because you said this word wrong. This is how you say it. I was like, you idiot.
Someone has to correct him though.
It's
Oh.
because man, it's just
Yep.
Jeremy can't read.
No,
Yep.
he can't.
Jeremy
And he
can't
goes,
read.
look, I'm from Alabama. And I go,
Yeah,
Okay,
he can
guys.
barely read.
Wow. I kind of suspected that you're from Alabama.
yeah, like it's
I don't know what that gave that away.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Oh, my
he's
gosh.
hilarious. Oh my gosh.
Well, Jess, thank you so much for joining us tonight. I really appreciate it, hanging out with us. And thank you so much for telling us your socials. We're looking forward to seeing you more in chats and on the Twitter sphere and being you and just ignore Dan. He does know nothing.
Coming back.
Oh,
you definitely need
Dan.
to come back.
Yeah, and then come back for sure. We would love for you to hang
oh,
out
yeah, I
with
would
us
love
again.
to.
Yes.
And also, I forgot to mention that every Wednesdays I stream with my friends and do Late and Gay with the GCA. And it's just like, yeah,
watched the
we
show
call it,
yesterday.
we call
was
it
making
Late
fun of-
and Gay because we purposely are late. So it's like,
I was making fun of Hayden yesterday because his network card kept crapping out on stream yesterday. I was like, my God, I thought my
no.
internet was bad.
poor Hayden. It's like, you have Starlink,
Oh my gosh,
buddy.
that's hilarious.
Oh, I just need a new network card. Well, maybe you better go get
Yeah.
one.
Yeah. Let's fix that,
Mhm.
Hayden. Before we
Hayden's a
end our
cool dude, though.
He is. I briefly chatted with him on Twitter one day, and I'm like, he's a pleasant guy to talk to. Like he's a
He's
real one.
fun.
Yeah. Before we end our show, I want to thank everyone here and thank again to Jessika for hanging out with us tonight. It was fun. I liked it. We got into some topics that were pretty hilarious and telling men to stay out of the girls' restrooms and let us do our own sports. That's all we want.
That goes without saying, though.
And then thank you to the chat for hanging out with us and just interacting. Before we head out, Dr. Rachel, do you have anything coming up?
I know we're going a little bit over time and some people got to bounce real quick. So I'll just keep it short. Just follow my socials. I don't really have anything coming up. But I will say I'm very happy that Universal has finally announced the Epic Universe coming May 22nd next year. And my next week is when passes start going on sale. So I will be jumping on
nice.
that immediately.
Nice.
I'm excited.
Ooh, I can't wait. That's something I'm actually excited and looking forward to as well. Ooh, yes. And then Dr. Lily, what do you have coming up?
Just same thing. Just follow me on X at 300 Mares, and you'll see what I have coming up. So make sure you guys are not missing us every Thursday, 8 Eastern time here on Dames and Dorks, and then every Monday I'm on Toxic Femininity. So make sure you guys are not missing that. It's also at 8 Eastern time as well. As for everything else, yeah, my socials are in the bio, and you can always catch me on Twitter being a nuisance. Starting
I like a
fights
lot of your
everywhere with
posts, though, girl.
everybody.
Your posts are good. I like them.
I'm like, and you know what? I started out just like you, Jessika. I was like super shy about it at first too. I was like, oh my gosh, I can't say that. That's like really mean. And now I'm just like basically like, shut up. You're stupid.
Oh yeah, you have no
anymore.
problem going. Just you go F off.
Yeah, I'm like, whatever. Like these aren't even real people. I don't even care what
They're
they
all
tell me
fake.
anymore.
They're bots.
Yeah, they're
people
bots.
are
That's
not
what they
real.
are anyway.
Half the time they kind of are.
Yeah.
Oh, and Smu, what do you have coming up?
Well, not much. I'm editing some videos to prepare myself for my trip next week. I'm going to be heading to the States on Monday, so I'll be there at the meetup. If you're in
I'm
San Antonio,
excited. I'll be
to look out for
there.
me.
Aw.
I'll be
who's
wearing
gonna
this
be
cap
there, guys?
or a variation of it, so you'll find me. So
We better
let me
see
know.
pictures.
Oh, heck yeah.
Mhm.
I even freed up some storage on my phone so I can take plenty of pictures and videos. So be on the lookout for that.
Good.
Might post a vlog as well or stream from there. Who knows if my phone allows it, but we'll see. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Follow me on Smu the DJ. That's my main channel where I post like drawings, do live streams. I recently did a 12-hour stream. I still feel the aftermath of that a little bit. My body hates me a little bit for it. Yeah. Gaming with Smu, the gaming channel, and also Wednesdays, I'm usually on Tommy's channel co-hosting the Hump Day Chinwag, which is our podcast where we talk about pop culture stuff, weirdness in politics, and all sorts of stuff. So yeah, be sure to check that out. And might be on Nerd Wars in 2 weeks, so be on the lookout for
Ooh.
that one.
Nice.
Erwin is. I love Erwin. He's so
Erwin
dang
is great.
funny.
Nice.
Erwin is a great guy.
I like Erwin.
And
He's
Badger. Badger's cool dude too.
yes,
Mhm.
he was on
Badger.
Open Bar today actually.
Oh, that's right.
Shout out to Badger.
Nice.
Nice.
Okay,
Nomiwithoutyou.
and then for me, I will be on Dreaming Tabitha stream on Saturday morning. We're going to be doing art in Spanish with Tabitha and Joe
Oh,
Rosie.
Tabitha.
Yes.
Oh,
so-
Tabitha and Joe. Yay.
Yes.
I don't know if you saw
come-
the stream yesterday. Sorry.
No, what do it?
She was playing Demonologist yesterday. She was hiding behind a Pikachu plushie, and it was
I did
it was
see
so
that.
funny.
She was
That
hiding
would be
behind a-
me. I would do it.
Ooh,
Yeah.
oh, Jessica, if you play games, we should talk of like we should play some scary games or
You
just
should.
games. Just you and Tabitha playing scary games would be hilarious.
I only have a Switch, but I have like Among Us, and then I just play a lot of like Nintendo
Ooh.
games.
Oh,
Okay.
Among Us.
Nice.
Boring.
Well, you should play that.
We'll talk later about that. Then that sounds interesting. But yeah, this Saturday, I can't remember what time, but I know it's going to be in the morning time with Tabitha and Joe Rosie. Come through on that one. On Mondays, I'm with the MoonSkull team, play Call of Cthulhu, a tabletop game. And there will be no Dames and Dorks for the next few weeks because we're going to be on a little break. Some of us will be at the meetup, and some of us is going to be celebrating Halloween. So, guys,
Mhm.
come back again in 2 weeks. We're going to have more topics to talk about and probably more videos and showing pictures of the meetup if my phone allows it because it dies at 70% now. Thank you, everyone, hanging out with us here tonight. I appreciate every one of you guys. Jessica, you're always welcome back. Oh my gosh, I can't think of a good intro, but like I said, no shows for 2 weeks. But guys, catch us again on the next time. Y'all have a good evening now. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.